the share screen isn't working for me.
Yo!
Is it Gorbot?
Yeah, gross.
Oh.
Bull ram shield. You want me to reset the share screen? No.
Hey.
God!
Another
What
one.
the heck? This game sucks. Sucks. Yo, legendary. God damn it! Second Fist of Jirax! Golden Fist of Jirax is a lot of rares out of my packs now.
I thought about keeping it because, you know, 3 golden spiders, so POV.
Legendary.
Oh my god.
This game sucks, dude!
Dude.
I think it's like my third mulch, too. Hey!
Oh!
Oh!
Four regular bull frame shields and a golden one.
This game sucks!
Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we are typically a very critical channel. We like to talk about the things that are kind of flawed with Hearthstone, what can be improved, what can be better, but I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at the changes that have happened throughout Hearthstone's history that have helped make the game succeed as it has. This game has been around since like 2014, and it is still flourishing in 2021. It's definitely not at its peak, it's definitely not at its pinnacle, but it's still doing very well with 3 expansions, mini sets, all these different things coming out every year. So let's take a look at what I feel are the best changes in Hearthstone history that have basically saved this game from becoming basically an artifact or a dead game that just doesn't really exist anymore. So first, at number 10, I'm going to go with returning decks for new players. This was instituted a couple years ago, where if you were a player that was coming back after I think like 6 months away from the game, you're basically offered a free deck recipe deck, and it typically has multiple legendaries and some pretty cool stuff in there, and that's a pretty sweet way to come back. I remember when I did my free-to-play run, you also get this deck if you're a new player. You're a brand new player, you also get this deck, and I was able to go free-to-play to top 10 Wild Legend too, wild cards, within 12 hours. Within 12 hours, I got like a Galakron Rogue deck, and I used the legendaries from that, and made a meta deck. And yeah, that's just been an awesome change, and it's helped people not only come back but also start the game feel like they actually have something, because when I started Hearthstone, you literally got nothing when you started. It was awful. At number 9, improved communication from the devs in Hearthstone themselves. There have been flaws in this regard for sure. When the Battle Pass fiasco happened, they stayed quiet. There's some issues with their esports team on certain things, but overall, the dev team has been like the most communicative ever. Like if you look on Twitter at Igzar, the lead card designer, he does an AMA like every week, answering a ton of questions from a ton of people, whether they're streamers or devs or just random people. He'll answer it and pretty open about a lot of stuff, and it's been really cool. Celestalon is another guy who's always active on Twitter. Alec Dawson's breaking down all the balance patch stuff like every single time, explaining why things have happened. Their communication has increased a ton, and we're very thankful for that. It's been really good. And number 8, well, this doesn't really exist anymore, but the introduction of the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame was a really good change for Hearthstone. It allowed for Wild to be a thing, where you had the Wild format, and players got dust back for their cards that went to Wild. Like I think the first one, you got like, if you had Ragnaros or Sylvanas, you got 1600 or 3200 dust back, and you kept the card because it was Hall of Famed and went to Wild. And we've even seen it used for like good things like Hall of Faming again in Baku a year early to save us from those cards like dominating and destroying Standard for another year. So the Hall of Fame was a great introduction. I guess you can just say the Wild format in general, and that has spawned a bunch of cool stuff like the Wild Opens and its own streaming community, its own online community, a lot of cool stuff. And yeah, the Hall of Fame, the Wild system, really cool. At number 7, we have the updated ranking system, and this has been on like multiple levels. When I started, you would go from rank 25 to Legend, and then they added rank floors eventually from 20, like every 5 ranks, you had a rank level where you can fall back. Because once I went from final boss Legend all the way back to rank 7, I think I aged like 10 years that day. It was awful. But yeah, they updated it that way, and then they updated again to this most recent system where you have like diamond, bronze, gold, all that kind of stuff, and it's really cool, really fun. And the 11-star bonus is really good for like experienced Legend players. They don't have to grind mindlessly like for like a week just to get back to Legend, and new players can, you know, work their way up. They don't have to be queued up against, you know, Legend players from the last month. They are never whatever. It's all based on MMR. The new ranking system is improved multiple times and is a really good spot right now. I quite enjoy it. Number 6, we have the improved rewards. When I started playing Hearthstone, do you know what you got at the end of each season? You got a card back. That was it. And then they introduced rewards where you would get golden cards depending on how far ranked you got. You could get some golden commons, a golden epic, and like some dust or another golden common. And then recently they changed it that you get a bunch of packs and a bunch of rares and like one epic, and it's really nice. It's just a lot more rewards. Like literally when I started, you got a card back. It was so hard to build anything. So free to play, it's gotten a lot better. You get a lot more rewards, and there's a lot like more daily events and stuff like that too. And yeah, they've definitely given back a lot. They were as like stingy as possible when it started, so it's nice to see how far we've come. At number 5, I kind of lumped this into the Hall of Fame, but the new formats like Wild and Classic, really good to change things up, especially Classic lately. I know a lot of people aren't super into it, like it's not the most popular mode in the world, but it's there. It's got already a pretty prominent community. It's a nice distraction to go back to. You know, we can build it up, like they can add Naxxramas at some point and spice things up if they want, or they can just keep it Classic forever and ever. Either way, it's cool, and I just recently hit Legend. I want to brag, triple top 100 Legend. Let's go. And yeah, I really enjoy Classic. It's a nice break to get away, and yeah, Wild, again, really cool format, and just overall really good to have that stuff in there. At number 4, more balance patches than ever, more constant updates. We used to have to beg for any nerf. I remember when Small Time Buccaneer came out during Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. It got nerfed in like a month. That was like record speed. That was amazing. They nerfed it in like a month. It was actually a bit over a month, I believe. But normally you'd have to wait like 2 months or 3 months for a problematic card to get nerfed, or if at all. I mean, patches took like a year to get nerfed, and Barnes and Wild took over 2 years. Like it's insane how slow they were, but now it's like every month we typically have a balance patch, and it just freshens up the game. It keeps, you know, problematic cards at bay, where, you know, like a Deck of Lunacy right now, it's been out of control for like 2 weeks. It's gonna get nerfed next week, almost certainly. And you know, that's really good. We would have had to wait like a month or two in the past. So more constant balance patches does make the game a bit more expensive at times, which is a downside, but overall for the health of the game, it's definitely been a good significant change. At number 3, I'm just gonna go with the addition of Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds like kind of saved Hearthstone, honestly. When it was introduced, viewership and interest in Hearthstone was probably at an all-time low. It was doing dreadfully, and then Battlegrounds came out and it just blew up, and it's like the top most popular game mode on Twitch. People love watching it on Twitch. In terms of gameplay, rank still reigns supreme according to all the metrics, but Battlegrounds has just opened up a ton of fun. People really love it. I enjoy playing it. They've even like Battlegrounds invitationals, tournaments, and I hope they eventually set up a Battlegrounds competitive. It would be really nice to see. But as it stands, Battlegrounds is just one of the best things they could have ever added to the game, and we'll have to see how it constantly evolves. It's still going, and they're still adding new tribes. Should be getting like the Quillbores pretty soon. So yeah, Battlegrounds is looking pretty sweet. Number 2, we have the pretty recent addition to this is the addition of the core set. The core set is free. Everybody gets the core set for free. No longer classic, no longer basic. It's all in the core set, and you get it right out the gate. You can get all the golden cards for free if you're an experienced player, and it's just really welcoming for new players. They can play with a bunch of powerful cards and do a lot of good stuff, not have to worry about filling their classic collection and all that crazy stuff. And they can change it every year. They can keep the meta spicy. If things like maybe Gadgetzan is a problem, they can just put it to Wild and put something else in the core set, and you're not going to feel bad about it because, well, you get it for free, whatever they put in there. And I think it's been a great change, and it's only going to get better as time goes along. Before we get to our number 1, I'm going to give a few honorable mentions. First, the updated Battle Pass. I'm going to put the Battle Pass on here. The updated version. I think the updated version of the Battle Pass has been very nice. It streamlines a lot of the rewards. It's really cool to get portraits if you have the paid pass. Plus, you still get like the free rank 50 or rank level 100 portrait now. It's just a lot more rewarding and feels good to get the gold to work through that. But yes, when it launched, it was abysmal, and that's why I can't honestly put it on the top 10. But as it stands, I think we can all agree the Battle Pass is in a pretty good spot right now and has made Hearthstone a better game. Next is cosmetics. Just the vast amount of cosmetics they've added to the game. Pretty much most of it you have to spend gold on. They do add some portraits you can buy with gold on the shop, which is nice, or card backs, but they didn't used to put very many cosmetics. You had like Illyria, Magni, and Medivh for like the longest time, and that was it. But now it's like every month you get like a portrait or two you can buy. Part of the Tavern Pass. It's just nice to have more options. What's the harm in that? And if you don't want to buy it, you don't buy it. You just play with whatever. Already added in like 1,000 win skins too. That's a new cosmetic. So a lot of cool stuff, and it's always nice to, you know, have some unique personality to your portraits. The last honorable mention is wild packs with gold. It used to be you could only buy them with money, and that was just kind of silly, and it took quite a while for them to let us actually buy wild packs for money. We still have that problem with adventures, and that's why it's not on the list. It's an honorable mention. You still cannot buy old wild adventures for gold. You used to be able to buy them wing per wing, and I think that's really lame, and I think they should update that at some point. That would be something I'm going to keep pushing for this year, that they do that. But overall, being able to like buy packs, wild packs with gold, just allows more players to experience wild, and I think that's really good. And lastly, the number one change that has improved Hearthstone for the better, for me, has to be duplicate protection on everything. For a while, there was no duplicate protection on any card. If you could open the same legendary 80 times over, there was a guy who opened 1 million Bolf Ram Shields in a row, and it was just ridiculous. But yeah, that doesn't happen anymore, and now they have protection on legendaries, epics, rares, and commons. So once you open every common, once you open one common, you can't get it again, or a legendary, you can't get it again. That's just made the game a lot cheaper. It makes opening packs a lot less punishing, and for the most part, just has made the game a lot more affordable. It's still very expensive, but duplicate protection has definitely made it a lot cheaper, and I think we're all pretty thankful for that. So there you go. Those are my top 10 picks for the best changes in Hearthstone history. Let me know in the comments below what changes Blizzard Team 5 have made that have made Hearthstone a better game in your opinion, or maybe you disagree with these. Maybe you think they're bad changes. Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.